So yeah, no, this is just it's a huge heresy, you know, that to say that Christ didn't have a human soul is just it's just wrong.
Donatism.
That not even Donatism has nothing. Wait, what? No, that's not Donatism. That's a Apollinarianism, G.
Apollinarian, okay.
Brother. Bro.
Christ was just a spirit.
Docetism. Docetism, bro. In fact, I even got a whiteboard. Hold on. I'm gonna get that. You see the whiteboard here? I got the whole. Just hold that if you don't mind.
This guy's not real.
I've got a whiteboard to explain theology, guys. This is the new approach. Yeah.
This is what they be doing.
This is what, fam. I'm gonna break down theology in Hyde Park in 5 minutes. Like you know that how to basic guy when he just dashes eggs at the thing. Okay, so in the 4th century, okay. So in the 4th century, there was a heresy known as Apollinarianism. We have the one person that is Christ. We're just going to call him C. That one person was said to be fully human and fully God, right? This is very easy. He was fully human and he was fully God. Now, in order for you to be a human being, as you would assume, you would need to have a body and you would need to have a soul and everything that comes with that. And in order to be God, you just need to have the divine nature, okay? You need to have the essence of God. That's all you need. Now, here is the problem. There were people in the 300s that said that Christ didn't have a human soul. And the way he concluded this, which is what a lot of people that are mistaken today do, is they equate the term soul and spirit. So they say that the term soul and the term spirit mean the exact same thing, okay? What they don't take into account is that sometimes the word spirit can mean other things. I'll give you an example. You guys have all heard it, you know, God is a spirit, and those that worship God must worship God in spirit and in truth. And so they think that God is just simply a divine soul, a divine spirit. They equate the two terms. However, if you actually read the passage, the story is in context, and it's in context to a very specific account in the Gospel of John. In the Gospel of John, Jesus is talking with, I believe, a Samaritan woman, a woman from Samaria, and she argues and asks Jesus a very specific question. Where can I go to worship God? What temple should I go? What mountain should I go? Because my ancestors used to worship God on this very mountain. And so Jesus says, listen, a time is coming where it doesn't really matter where you go, because God is a spirit, i.e., God isn't physical. So the term spirit can also mean a non-physical thing. It means our soul, but it also means that God isn't physical. The Apollinarians, the heretics in the 4th century, believed that Christ only had this, that he only had a human body. So imagine the divine person of Christ as God sort of creates just like a human body and then animates that body without having a soul.
Like a puppet.
Like a puppet. He literally moves the strings around like a puppet, does miracles through that specific body, doesn't really do much, and doesn't speak of having a soul. So really, he's not even a human at all. He's not fully human in any sense, because he doesn't have a soul. And so what we, the Christians, did is we informed these heretics very strongly that this is wrong. You need to have a human soul in order to be a human being. And so Christ has both a human body and a human soul, and he also has a divine nature, which we call God, the divine essence. Ultimately, the idea was just a bit of a confusion amongst modern Christians today, because they believe that God is a divine spirit. Then that divine spirit just had a human body and Christ didn't have a human soul. Big misconception. Yes, question?
Before creation,
yeah,
were there souls?
No.
Were there souls?
No.
Souls are souls created.
Absolutely.
So Jesus' soul was created.
Yes, the same way his human body was created, right?
Yeah.
I don't understand the souls like that.
So you believe, oh, so you believe that the souls existed?
No, I believe our souls are created.
Yeah.
But I believe Jesus' soul is eternal. Jesus' soul.
No.
So let me ask you a question. Does God have a soul?
In the way we understand Christ had a soul.
Christ had a soul, I agree. Did God have a soul?
I wouldn't know.
So maybe this might help you out, right? So in Hebrew, the word for soul is nephesh, okay? This is the word for soul. And sometimes it means, the soul of a human being. Sometimes it means the thing that we use to feel or think, our nephesh. Then we have ruach, or spirit. And these words overlap, right? These words overlap. And spirit or ruach means the animation. So when God breathes into a human being, he breathed life into a human being. It animated that body. It made it a living soul, a living nephesh. Christ is going to be non-physical. God, the Trinity is not a physical thing. So the Trinity is a spirit. It's spirit, right? It isn't physical. The Trinity doesn't have a nephesh in that sense. Now, sometimes in the Bible, God describes himself and says, my soul was made glad. But what that means is that God was pleased with the thing that happened. Doesn't mean that the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit had a soul. Okay? So Christ had a human soul because he's fully a human being, which is created. That's it. Written down. It's all good. Thanks, man. See, getting the whiteboard actually helps. Because a lot of the time, a lot of people have confusions about theology, and sometimes I should just get the whiteboard. You want to try out, sir?
I'll ask you a question.
Yeah, go on.
I'm sorry if you already covered this, but what does it mean that the Son is begotten from the Father?
Good question. Yeah, that's an amazing question. So, I want to understand what's the confusion for you though? When you say that he's begotten, what's the real confusion you're trying to get at?
It's not so much as confusion, but it's more what's the significance of it?
Well, yeah, it helps us. It's the thing that absolutely distinguishes the person of the Father from the person of the Son. That's the distinction between those two things. So, what?
So why couldn't we say the Father's begotten from the Son?
The Father's begotten from the Son.
As in, if that's the only purpose.
No. As in, we're saying that's the distinction. So the reason why we say that the Son is for why, it ultimately is because God told us. But the reason why we would say that the person of, for example, let's say the Father here, and then we have the Son here. I'm going to give you an analogy so that maybe that could explain how this relation sort of happens. So we believe that God is all-knowing, right? So God is all-knowing, and you believe that God knows himself. And I'll break that down. God's all-knowing, right? So he would know himself. Good. So he knows everything about himself. What's going on? Where? Oh yeah, I'm cutting then. Guys, it's been lovely. Take care. Thank you so much. It's been amazing.